Ladies, let me tell you something right now. When a man is crazy about you, I'm talking head over his heels, can't stop thinking about you, willing to do anything for you, kind of crazy, he starts doing things that might seem small, but they're psychological moves. Little tricks, signals, things he probably doesn't even realize he's doing, but trust me, they mean something. And if you pay attention, you'll spot every one of them. Now let me break this down for you, ladies. When a man is truly feeling you, and I'm talking about the kind of feelings that keep him up at night, got him smiling at his phone like a fool, got his boys side-eyeing him like, man, what's gotten into you? One of the very first psychological things he starts doing, and he probably doesn't even realize it, is mirror you. Let me tell you what I mean. You ever be around somebody so much, so often, that you start talking like them? You start using the same slang, laughing the same way, ordering the same coffee, and you ain't even trying to do it. It just happens. That's what mirroring is. It's a psychological reflex. It happens when we feel close to someone or want to feel close. And when a man is crazy about you, his whole body, his whole subconscious mind starts trying to get in rhythm with you. It's already there. That's what he's doing. He's trying to sync up. You say something funny and he laughs, not just at the joke, he laughs like you do. Same pitch, same timing. You lean forward when you talk, he leans forward. You cross your legs, he crosses his. Now, this ain't no creepy copycat game. He's not out here taking notes, no. This is natural. His brain is saying, let's align, let's connect, let me show her I'm on her level. Now, here's where it gets real deep. If you start paying attention, you'll notice how he starts using your phrases. You might have a catchphrase or a way you say things, and suddenly he's saying it too, not mocking you, not joking. He's adopting your language. And in relationships, language is powerful. It creates a bond. If y'all speak the same language, you feel like you're in the same tribe. And baby, once a man wants to be in your tribe, that means he's invested. Let's go further. You might mention something in passing like, oh, I love the sound of rain when I'm falling asleep. 2 weeks later, he's sending you a YouTube link to a rain sounds playlist. That's not random. That's not a coincidence. That's him mirroring your interests. You talk about how much you love spicy food. Suddenly, this man who couldn't handle black pepper before is taking you to the hottest Thai spot in town like he's been eating chili since birth. Why? Because he wants to match you. He wants to experience life the way you do. Even his texting patterns might change. You write long messages, he starts sending paragraphs. You use emojis a lot, he starts throwing them in too. Not because he's trying to impress, but because he wants you to feel comfortable. He wants to match your vibe so you feel understood, seen, and most importantly, safe. Now let me tell you, this ain't just about how he acts around you. This is about how you start influencing his behavior everywhere. He starts dressing a little sharper, not because you told him to, but because he knows you like a certain look. He starts listening to different music because you mentioned a favorite artist. He starts picking up on your mood, adjusting his tone based on how you feel, not just how he feels. That's mirroring on a deep level. But here's the kicker, it's not just copying, it's connection. It's his way of saying, I want to be where you are, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. See, men, we don't always know how to say that with words. We ain't always gonna come out and say, I feel really connected to you and want to bond on a deeper psychological level. Now, that ain't how we talk. What we do is show it through our behavior, through the way we start adjusting ourselves around you, through the way we start reflecting who you are. So when you see a man starting to take on your little quirks, your rhythms, your language, don't laugh it off. Don't think it's just a coincidence. That man is into you, deep. He's trying to connect with you in the most natural, most subconscious way a man can. He's saying, without saying, you matter to me. You want to know if he's serious? Watch how he adapts. Watch how his energy starts to look like yours. Because a man who's really crazy about you, he's not trying to stand apart. He's trying to get close. He's trying to feel what you feel. And if he's doing that, trust me, that brother's heart is already halfway yours. All right, now this one right here, this one's big. When a man is really crazy about you, and I'm talking about the type of love that's deep, not just surface level attraction, he's going to start testing your loyalty. Now, hold up. Before you jump to conclusions, I'm not talking about games. I'm not saying he's out here trying to manipulate you or make you chase him. That's some immature, childish stuff. A grown man who's emotionally invested, he don't play games. What he does, often without even knowing it, is throw out little scenarios, little emotional feelers to see, can she be down for me even if it ain't always perfect? See, men are wired different. We don't always come out and say what we're scared of. We don't sit in circles and talk about our feelings like women do. You'll rarely hear a man say, I'm afraid to be vulnerable. But that don't mean the fear ain't there. It just means we express it differently. And when a man is falling hard for you, when he's starting to imagine a future, a real partnership, that fear creeps in, the fear of losing you, the fear of not being enough, the fear that if things go left in life, you might dip out. So what does he do? He starts testing your loyalty, not out loud, not directly, but in the way he tells you stories about his past, especially the rough parts. He might tell you about the time he failed at something big, lost a job, got in trouble, had a setback. He's watching your reaction. Do you judge him? Do you get quiet? Do you pull back? Or do you say, wow, I appreciate you sharing that with me? See, he don't need a cheerleader. He needs a rider. And that test right there, that's him checking. Can I trust her with the most broken parts of me? You might hear him say something like, if I didn't have all this going for me, would you still mess with me? Or maybe it's subtle, like, sometimes I feel like I don't have much to offer. And boom, that's the test. That ain't weakness. That's a man exposing a little piece of his emotional underbelly to see what you do with it. Do you nurture it or stomp on it? And I know some of y'all are thinking, why does he need to test me? I'm loyal by default, and I hear you. But understand this, for a man who's been hurt, betrayed, or left when he was down bad, these little moments are like emotional insurance. He ain't testing you because he doubts you. He's testing because life already showed him how fast things can flip. And he needs to know you won't. Now here's the important part. These tests don't last forever. A good man, when he sees you're real, when he sees you're steady, he'll stop needing to ask. He'll rest in your love. But in the beginning, when everything's fresh and his emotions are still adjusting to this whole being crazy about you thing, the tests are part of his process. Sometimes it's not even about struggle. It might be about time. He'll test to see if you just here for the fun. Are you only around when everything's lit and exciting, or can you sit through the boring stuff too? Are you still texting back when he's too busy to shower you with attention? That's another kind of loyalty test. Silent, subtle, but powerful, because let me tell you something. Men remember consistency. You might think it was just one small gesture, but to him, it's everything. He's taking mental notes. He's saying to himself, she stayed. She didn't flinch. She didn't leave when I couldn't impress her. That to a man is a turn on far beyond looks or style. Now I gotta say this too. A secure, mature man don't need you to prove your worth forever. These little tests, they happen early and then they fade. But if a man keeps testing you, keeps doubting, keeps pushing your boundaries, that's not love, that's insecurity. There's a difference between a test and a trap. Don't confuse the two. A real man wants loyalty, but he also gives it. He doesn't keep you in a state of proving yourself. So when he says things like, would you still love me if I lost everything? That's not just a hypothetical question. That's his heart speaking. That's him wondering if this thing is real. If you look him in the eye and say, I don't love you for what you have, I love you for who you are, you just unlocked another level of his trust. Because once a man feels emotionally safe, that's when he gives you everything. His love, his loyalty, his future. It's wild how we're built, right? And we don't always make sense, but we feel deeply. And when a man is falling for you, when he's losing his cool every time you walk in the room, when you become the first thing on his mind in the morning and the last thing at night, those tests he throws out ain't a challenge. They're a signal that says, I'm scared to love this hard, but I'm hoping you'll show me it's safe. Now listen, when a man is truly crazy about you, and I don't mean just thinking you look good in a dress or liking your selfies, I'm talking about when he's emotionally invested, when he's starting to build something real in his heart with you. One of the clearest signs is this. He starts asking for your opinion constantly about everything. That's not just a casual question. That's a psychological move. That's him saying your voice matters to me more than you realize. Let me tell you how men are wired. We are natural fixers, problem solvers, decision makers. Or at least we like to think we are. So when a man is out here making moves on his own, doing his thing, that's just how we operate. But when he pauses, turns to you and says, what do you think about this? That ain't just small talk. That's an invitation into his mind. That's trust. That's respect. See, when a man is truly into you, he starts to see you as a teammate, not just a partner in love, but in life. And before a man brings anybody into his decision-making process, especially someone outside of his inner circle, you better believe that woman holds a special place. He's not asking for your opinion just to be polite. He's not just making conversation. Nah, he's weighing your words. He's listening close. Because deep down, he wants to know that the life he's building includes you in the blueprint. You ever had a man text you a picture of two shirts and say, which one looks better? Or is trying to get a new car and he's like, you think this model suits me? That ain't just about the shirt or the car. That's a man testing alignment. He wants to know if y'all are thinking alike, if your taste matches his, if your instinct can guide him. It may seem small, but that's big to a man, real big. Or maybe he's dealing with something at work, some kind of pressure, and out of nowhere he says, what would you do in this situation? Or he's struggling with a family situation and he just says, am I wrong for how I feel? Whew, now listen, that right there, that's vulnerability. And men don't hand that out to just anybody. We only seek advice for people we truly believe in. And if he's turning to you, that means your opinion doesn't just matter, it grounds him. Here's another layer to it. When a man is falling for you, your approval becomes part of how he measures his decisions. He starts thinking, would she be proud of this move? Or would this impress her? And if he's not sure, he comes to you directly. And when he does that, when he opens that door and says, what do you think? How you respond shapes the trust in that relationship. Now, ladies, here's the key. He's not always looking for a solution. Sometimes he just wants confirmation. Sometimes he's already leaning one way, but he needs to hear you say it. Because if the woman he cares about agrees with him, it gives him strength. That's psychological support. That's partnership. And most men, we crave that, even if we don't always say it. And don't get it twisted. This goes beyond the big stuff. This ain't just about life decisions or major milestones. It's in the everyday little choices too. He'll ask what movie you want to watch, what you think about this restaurant, should he cut his hair or grow it out? Now, some women might see that as indecisiveness, but don't miss the deeper message. He's not asking because he can't decide. He's asking because your happiness is now part of his decision-making process. If you're happy, he's good. That's how a man in love thinks. And here's the beautiful part. Once a man gets comfortable asking for your opinion, that's when the emotional intimacy deepens. Because now it ain't just about the romance or the attraction. Now it's about shared perspectives. It's about respecting your wisdom. It's about knowing that you bring something to the table he doesn't have. You give him another way to see the world, and baby, once a man values your mind, it's a wrap. That's rare. That's rare. Now let me say this. A man who asks your opinion is showing you he sees you as more than just a pretty face. He's showing you that you stimulate him intellectually, emotionally, mentally. And when that happens, when he's turning to you before he moves, when your voice is part of his process, you're no longer just a girlfriend or even a love interest. You're his compass. So if he keeps asking you, what do you think? Don't ever downplay it. Don't brush it off like it's nothing. That man is putting value on your mind, on your insight, on your presence in his life. And in a world full of noise and ego, that's one of the clearest, most powerful signs that his feelings for you are deep and only getting deeper. Now let's talk about something that don't always get the spotlight, but it speaks louder than anything a man can say. The subtle ways he tries to impress you. See, when a man is really into you, I'm talking can't stop thinking about you, heart racing when your name pops up kind of into you, he's going to put effort into impressing you. But here's the twist. It won't always be loud. It won't always be flashy. Sometimes it'll be so smooth you won't even notice it, but trust me, it's intentional. Men don't always show love the same way women do. We ain't always going to spell it out. We ain't going to be out here holding up I love you signs in public or writing poems on a napkin unless we extra dramatic. Now, a lot of the time we operate in a more subtle space. And when we're crazy about you, we want to make sure you see us as worthy, not just physically, but in character, in confidence, in capability. You ever notice a man starts acting just a little different when you're around? Like he suddenly sits up straighter, his voice deepens just a touch, he's more aware of his posture. That ain't a coincidence, that's biological. He's trying to stand out. Like a peacock puffing out them feathers, but smooth, controlled. He's not going to tell you he wants to impress you, but he's going to start performing in little ways. Like he'll casually drop things into conversation, not to brag, but to signal. He might say, yeah, I stayed up all night working on that project, finally nailed it. Or I ran into a buddy of mine from college, he just got promoted, and it made me reflect on how far I've come too. See what he's doing? He's showing you his ambition, his work ethic. He's painting a picture of stability, drive, and success, not to show off, but to show you he's the type of man you can count on. And ladies, don't miss the random good deeds. If he knows you're watching, even just a little, he'll suddenly be the first to hold the door open for someone, tip the waiter well, offer his seat to someone elderly. That kindness, that's not fake, it's who he is. But now he's showing you the best version of himself, hoping you'll recognize it. He wants you to see that he ain't just a good time, he's a good man. Sometimes the way he impresses you ain't even about him, it's about the way he treats you. He remembers the smallest things. You said your favorite flower is tulips in a random conversation 2 weeks ago. He shows up with them. Not on your birthday, not on a holiday, just on a Tuesday, because he listens. That's impressive, and he knows it. He's not trying to overwhelm you with grand gestures. He's playing the long game. Subtle, consistent, meaningful. That's how a man shows effort, when he's serious. Now let's talk about how he starts fixing stuff. That's a classic move right there. Car acting funny, he's under the hood YouTubing tutorials like he's in NASCAR. Something broke in your house, he's showing up with a toolbox and confidence. He may not even know what he's doing, but baby, he's going to try. Why? Because men are wired to impress through capability. We want to be needed. And if he's trying to be your go-to for solutions, that man is head over heels. That ain't about fixing a light bulb. That's about proving you can rely on me. And don't sleep on the way he cleans up when he knows he's going to see you. You've seen it. One week he's just out here in joggers and beat up sneakers. Next time y'all meet up, he got that fresh light off, shirt ironed. Smells like he just walked out of a cologne commercial. He won't say nothing, but believe me, that was for you. He's paying attention to the details now. And the reason it feels subtle is because he's trying to play it cool. He doesn't want to look like he's doing too much. But he is definitely doing it for you. He might even post differently on social media. Men don't often say, I'm falling for this girl, but suddenly his IG is full of positive energy, workouts, inspirational quotes, maybe even a selfie in that shirt you said you liked. That ain't random. That's strategy. That's him setting up the profile of a man who's got it together because he knows you're watching. What's wild is a man might never say, I'm doing all this to impress her, because to him it just feels like motivation. Being with you, being around you, it makes him want to be better. That's the highest compliment a man can give. If your presence in his life is pushing him to evolve, elevate, upgrade, that's love in motion. That's him choosing to impress you in ways that matter, not just with things, but with who he is becoming. So don't think he's being low-key or shy. Just know that when a man is subtle in his efforts to impress, it means he wants you to love him not for what he shows, but for who he really is. And that right there is real.